Thanks for coming, you guys. We'll be a little less formal than we typically are, which really is just the difference between standing up and sitting down. I think you're not going to get much difference from me than you do at a formal, more formal press conference. We're really excited about today for a couple of reasons. We're announcing the release of $100,000 of new money into the community, and we're doing it through two funding streams that we're pretty excited about, an innovation stream and a neighborhood stream. And partly why we've decided to do this was we spent the better part of 6 months a few years ago consulting with the community, and ended up between surveys, face-to-face interviews, community consultations, reaching over 2,000 people in our community to say, what are the issues that are important for you? Where should we be investing your money? That really every year goes into a community fund. I mean, the United Way has been building a community fund for 75 years, more than 75 years. And so we really felt it was appropriate for us to reassess and to say, how do we want to spend that money? Where do we want to invest it? And since it's the community's money, we certainly should engage the community in that process about where we put the money. And two things came out to us very, very clearly. Three things came out to us very, very clearly. One is people really wanted a stream of money that was providing long-term security to partner agencies. And that's what we call our long-term funding. And certainly we have a number of agencies that have enjoyed 4 years of long-term and increased funding over the last 4 or 5 years of this model. Finally, we're able to release the other two streams. And again, it's $100,000. We're going to be putting a call out to the community for these funding streams, and we're looking to release the money in the next couple of months. So this morning is just about talking about that announcement, encouraging people and partners to apply for that money. And what I wanted to do today was to introduce two of our leaders within the organization to talk about both the process and the involvement in terms of the community in deciding that. And so what I'd like to do at this time is to introduce Jim Hendry, who sits on our board of directors and is the chair of our community investment committee, to talk a bit more about this undertaking and this opportunity for the community. Jim.
Thank you. Yeah, I just say on behalf of the board, we are excited to announce this. It's been a while coming, these two new funding streams that United Way has always done, the long-term funding, so this is a new thing for us. I'm a relatively new United Way volunteer, and as the chair of the Community Investment Committee, which I'm even newer at, I always knew that it was, this is a volunteer-driven organization, and the decisions about who gets money are volunteer-driven, but it's become even more apparent to me now that that's, how the money gets out there. And innovation is, it's a word that you hear a lot in business these days. Everyone needs to innovate innovation, but it's also true for community service groups that are out there trying to help with or solve, big social problems, and that's, what we're looking for really. We're going to have organizations at neighborhood level, really grassroots, and slightly higher but community level, who are delivering innovative projects that we're going to fund. They come to us and say, here's what we want to do, and we give them the money. And through those, as Jim said, there'll be about $100,000 that will be out there in the coming year to improve what happens for people in Peterborough.
Thanks, Jim. And just to build on some of what Jim has said, one of the things we heard through our consultations is that people are so tied to their current funding partners that they're not allowed to try new things, even though they have clinical instincts on the ground. The people that are serving clients, the people that are dealing with people in need, they sometimes have a greater sense of what's needed than just the tried and the true of what's been going on, perhaps clinically, for a number of years. And so people really wanted the opportunity just to be able to have a chance to try different kinds of interventions and different kinds of protocols. And so this money is really meant to liberate creativity within the nonprofit sector, and we really wanted to put a fair amount of money behind that for people to really try to purely innovate and incubate, which may well then form practice in general. What I'd like to do now is turn it over to Lisa just to talk about just the practicality of how to get that money and how we're going to be reviewing it and where people can go to get the funds.
So essentially there's going to be two streams of funding that we're releasing that both Jim Russell and Jim Hendry have alluded to. The first fund is what we actually call our innovation fund, and there's going to be up to $75,000 available for local not-for-profit charitable organizations to beta test a new idea. or maybe do some research to better understand an issue that our community is facing. So it's one-time funding. Essentially, they have it for a period of a year, and it's really, again, meant to spark and create innovation for organizations, because as Jim alluded to, there's often very little budget available to try a new idea. The second type of funding that's going to be available is our Neighbourhood Fund. The Neighbourhood Fund will allow very grassroots, very community level projects to happen. They're very small, kind of one-time grants of up to $5,000. They, as opposed to our Innovation Fund, our Neighbourhood Fund will actually be available to groups of citizens. So a group of citizens could say, our neighborhood really needs this kind of project, or this kind of, maybe a new playground or that kind of idea, and they can come to us, and that's going to be the kind of work that we're supporting with them. The Neighborhood Fund is really meant to help people engage in their neighborhood, get to better know their neighbors, and build that sense of community, because again, that's something we heard through our community conversation, is that people are really missing that. That's something that we're really trying to, again, spark with this type of funding. So essentially, for details, as of right now, everything is up and on our website for people to take a look at for the two types of funding. We are issuing the call today, February 6th, to the community. To find details, it's really easy. You just have to go to the main page of our website, or go to our How We Can Help area and look for Apply for Funding. We essentially are giving organizations the month of February to prepare the proposal, to call us with questions. We're here to mentor, coach, support through the process. Particularly with the Innovation Fund, we do encourage applicant organizations to get in touch with us. Applications will be due on March 9th, with funding decisions to be made in late March, early April. So everything's going out today. We would like to have applications in by March 9th, and again, we'll be getting back to folks in early April.
Beautiful. Thanks, Lisa. The other thing I'd point out, Jessica, for us is, there's so much hype and focus around campaign and the chasing of dollars, but really all of that hype, and it's good hype, I don't mean that in a cynical way at all, but the real rubber hitting the road is this: the releasing of dollars into the community, the really putting the investment forward. There's the chasing dollars, that's hard, but then there's the work that Jim and his committee has to do, which is more worthy, which has more potential to have impact in the community. And so this is what campaign is all about: our ability to invest in innovative projects in the community and to build neighborhood. And there was this really fascinating TED Talk, I don't know if folks have seen it yet or not, and it's on how do you live to be 100. And it's not, and the top 10 things you can do to live to be 100. And it is really interesting because it's not the stuff you would expect. Stop smoking, lose some weight, stop drinking. I mean, those are on the list of top 10, but they're low down the list. The number one is feeling a sense of inclusion, feeling a sense of connectedness, having friends. And that may seem intuitive, but it doesn't come up that well. And so part of the neighborhood, is are wanting to release money for neighborhood work and building tighter relationships, is the realization that that's where people feel included and experience community. Community is not a geographical reality, it's an interpersonal reality. And so we're really excited about this opportunity to put this new money out into the community and to draw down from the community fund that we've been building over the years to be able to do that. So that's what today is about. Certainly campaign is still on the ground. We had a lot of talk yesterday about the close campaign we're in. We're in the midst of a So Close campaign that we're pretty excited about. And the campaign cabinet is kind of reinvigorated to kind of bear down for the last couple of months. But today is really about the come and get it, and it's there for people to use, and we really want to make sure we get this money out and into the community as quick as possible. Any questions?
Yes, okay. So